Internet, Eric here. Well, it's a late upload, but I am still getting this done. 12 Days of Christmas Horror. Hold on, let me mess with this. Alright. Super late upload, but you know what? 12 Days of Christmas Horror. I'm going to get this thing done, so here we go. If you don't know what 12 Days of Christmas Horror is, I've been doing this for, I don't know what day I'm on, but 12 horror movies that are Christmas themed or take place at Christmas time. 12 discussion videos uploaded, one a day, for 12 days. And I really wanted to do this one because my buddy Joe, the horror man, and if you don't know who he is, I've mentioned him many, many times because he's the one that has started the Slashback Challenge, the Saturday Slashback Saturday Challenge. Fuck. Anyways, he's mentioned numerous times. I have a playlist on all the stuff for that. But he's mentioned numerous times this film, and he's either said it's his favorite Christmas slasher or his favorite slasher movie in general. Joe will have to correct me on that. So I was doing a lot, like I said, a lot of these are first time watches. So, excuse me, I knew I'd have to watch this one. So for Joe, the horror man, today's video is Silent Night, Bloody Night. Now, this came out in 1972, but if you're new to my channel, welcome. Plot spoilers, specific scenes. You have plenty of time to watch this, just like me. Wow. Let's just say this. I knew when I found out it was 1972. I thought it was going to be slow burn, all that jazz, just like all 70s horror films, like the Omen and The Exorcist and all this. So I went in with that. Man, I had a fun time with this movie. First off, the basic plot of this is we are hearing the story from the final girl, I guess is the best way to say it. And she's telling the story of what happened the previous year. What happened the previous year was there was this house who was owned. Now, first off, I don't know character names. Get that out of the way. There is this house, this mansion that was owned by an old man who died under some mysterious circumstances, which I will talk about. And eventually, the house just sat there, and it was bequeathed to his grandson, and his grandson has finally decided to up and sell the place. And the lawyer and his mistress are they just struck a deal to sell it to these people, and instead of staying at a hotel, they decide to sleep at the house and are brutally murdered at night. And then basically we are following the final girl and the grandson, obviously, of who the house was bequeathed to. We're following them as they try to figure out who's killing everybody. Long story short, wow, I had a lot of fun with this one. First off, let's get it out of the way. The acting, no one's that great, but no one's that horrible except one person. First off, let's get the final girl. Decent job, very likable. The grandson, he's one of the Carradines. He's not David. He's not Robert. So he's either John or the other one. I don't know who the other one is. He's not Kill Bill, and he's not Revenge of the Nerds. That's all I can say. He does fine. Does a good job kind of being creepy when he needs to be creepy, but he's very likable as the movie progresses. Everyone else is fine, you know, be it the phone operator lady, you know, the switchboard operator, the sheriff. Everyone else is fine. I love the killer. What he does is think of it like Black Christmas. He uses the phone to get his message across, but it's done a hell of a lot better than it was done in the original Black Christmas, because first off, there's no random vulgarity for the sake of vulgarity. I have no problem being vulgar, trust me, but it's got to have a purpose, and it was just lame in Black Christmas. This one was done well. It's all whispers and foreshadowing and stuff like that. It just sounds creepy and menacing, and I loved it. Now, the only person whose acting I thought was horrible was the actress who played the lawyer's mistress. Now, don't get me wrong, she's super, super pretty. Beautiful. I looked up her IMDb because I wanted to see what the hell she had done. And apparently she is a cult film actress. She's done a lot of Roger Corman stuff. So the only thing I noticed her from like IMDb wise, I didn't recognize her. Is she's one of the two hecklers in the crowd in Chopping Mall. You know, when they're first showing the killbots, and they're her and her husband or her brother or whatever, they're the two hecklers. Um, so she's beautiful to look at, but man, when she opens her mouth, she sounds fucking stupid. She's either stoned or just half dumb. I don't know. Didn't like her character at all, just because she was too much of a space case, I guess, sounding. You know, like you shake her head, you hear the brain rattle, kind of like a spray paint can. But it didn't take away from the movie because she's hardly in it. I mentioned she gets killed. And goddamn, what a good kill or good death hers is. First off, I have to mention when I saw this in the credit, it's produced by Lloyd Kaufman. If you don't know who Lloyd Kaufman is, he's one of the creators of Trauma, Toxic Avenger, Sergeant Kabuki Man NYPD, Class of Nukem High, Romeo and Juliet, and Terra Firma, and he's still making movies today. It had some of the kills, especially the lawyer and the mistress kill, had a Trauma type feel to it, but it had a Herschel Gordon Lewis look to it. And what I mean is, with this scene, is they're about ready to have sex, or they already had sex, I don't remember. And we see an axe swing, and we don't really see penetration, from the axe, but we get blood shooting everywhere. We get the screaming, and it's like what made me think of Herschel Gordon Lewis. I've never seen one of his films, but I've seen clips, from like Serial Mom, or there's a really good documentary on him called The Godfather of Gore. It just had that look to it, that red paint blood look, and I love that look for these old 70s horror movies. So that was a good death. We have some people getting run over by cars. We have someone having their hand cut off. A couple shootings where we don't see the bullets, but it's still some good death. We have someone finds a dead body that's kind of chopped up a little bit. So for what little budget they had, they made it fun and memorable, I'll say. Like I said, when you see, I don't know if it's the lawyer or his mistress's hand, but when it's covered in like that red paint looking blood, it's one of the images I'll always remember when thinking of this movie. I liked how, well, I didn't say it. Let's mention, I talked about how the grandfather died under mysterious circumstances. The movie starts out, and it's the final girl saying about what happened the previous year, and talking about how the grandfather died. He just bursts out of his house on flames. No explanation, no nothing. And it's a perfect what the fuck moment to drag you into this. It's like, it gets your attention. You want to know what's going on. He's running out in the snow on fire, and then and then what's great is then we cut to a shot inside the house, looking out the window, and we're looking out the window and we still see, like, I guess the bonfire of his body as the camera pans away. So that was great. I love how when we go into the past and people are reading like from the grandfather's journal or what have you, it cuts from obviously present day to the past, but instead of it being black and white, it gives us this yellow type of tone. I guess, I don't know how you would say it. Filter? I guess kind of like how this video probably looks right now with that light shining on it, but I'm not going to try to fix it. I really like the look of that. It felt like an old newspaper mixed with newsreel footage. I just love the look of that. It was really well done. When we find out that eventually, before grandfather died, he had turned the house into like an asylum, for the criminally insane, and eventually the the criminally insane get loose, and it's one of my favorite shots. It's when they're walking to the house. So I guess there's two separate buildings. I don't know. That part confused me. But it's just an overhead, kind of an over-the-shoulder shot of this big group of insane people, and there's no score. You just hear their footsteps crunching in the gravel and in the leaves as they're going towards the house, building up the tension for when they do what they decide to do. And that whole scene is great too. We have a little bit of blood there. A really cool use of a broken wine glass around someone's eye while they're sleeping. That was good. I always thought blood looked better. As much as I love, the red paint blood on the guy's hand or the girl's hand, I always thought blood looked better. How do I say this? Like WWE, the wrestling, they now have it like a TV PG rating, and they have like a no blood policy. Sometimes blood happens, but what they would do is they would show it in black and white, and I always thought that made it look more brutal. So in this like yellow tone, when you see the blood there, and it's basically looking black, loved the look of it. Um, I loved the reveal of why this was happening. I did not see that coming when you find out who the killer is and why they're doing it. I really liked that. And I kind of liked how it's a little bit of a revenge thing, but the killer also did something. I want to keep this as spoiler free as possible because Joe knows what I'm talking about. Because I didn't get this. Kind of like with my Better Watch Out video, I kept that as vague as possible. The killer is doing this somewhat for revenge, but the killer is also not 100% innocent because that person also did something very, very heinous in their past to cause a lot of this. So, yeah, so I'm going to leave it at that. But that was a definite oh shit moment. I didn't see that coming at all. It wasn't unnecessary, but it just made it really like an uncomfortable situation, and then it went on. But I really liked that. Loved the the ending when the last two people go at it. Well, some mistaken deaths or accidental deaths between some people. When the killer is revealed and you see their face, because they're walking around in like this long raincoat and I guess a black hood, and they have like gloves and they're walking around with a knife. When their face is revealed, that looks kind of disgusting. Just because of who the person is. But I liked it. I love the reveal. God, there's not much of this movie that I didn't like, other than yes, it is kind of slow in parts, but it wasn't as slow. It wasn't as slow as I thought. I was expecting a lot of this to drag. The only parts that dragged, honestly, was in the beginning when the lawyer is talking to the people to try to sell the house. That was kind of boring, and like one person can't talk because of reasons, so he just rings a little bell, and that was kind of dumb. And then eventually the grandson, final girl, have to talk to him again. He's like writing on a notepad. Just make the guy talk. I mean, I understand it was like a gimmick, but I didn't like it. Other than that, I really, really gotta say, I really enjoyed Silent Night, Bloody Night. It had a schlocky feel to it. It had a really great 70s feel to it. Didn't drag as much as I thought it would. Other than the mistress, I thought the acting was either fine to pretty decent. Loved the cheap gore effects. You gotta do what you gotta do. I love the look of it. I love like I said, when you go into the past and you have that yellow tone to it, that added to it. Oh, yeah, I loved how it was like a POV shot of one of the people in the beginning. Someone breaks out of a nut house and is making their way to the grandfather's house, in present day. I liked how that looked. And then it really makes sense. At first I was confused, but then it really made sense as to who this person was when all was revealed. So that was really good. I mean, this wasn't like a edge of your seat type of slasher, but I still really, really enjoyed it. I don't regret watching Silent Night, Bloody Night. Is it my favorite slasher? No. Is it one of my favorite Christmas movies, like horror movies? No. But it'll definitely make its way into my rotation. So, Joe, thank you for always talking about Silent Night, Bloody Night. If it wasn't for you always talking about this, I probably would have never given it a chance. So I tell people, give it a chance. I had a lot of fun with it, like with a lot of the kills and this and that. Not much I didn't like. So that's it. Thank you for watching. I'm going to upload this right away and then get back to 2 more videos to go. Don't know what they're going to be. I know what the last one's going to be. I'm going to end on a good note for sure, but I'm not sure when tomorrow is going to be. Christmas Evil, if I can find it. Krampus, if it came in the mail. And if not, a random video. Fuck if I know. But anyways, Silent Night, Bloody Night. Highly recommend it. Thank you, Joe, once again. So thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. Click the bell. Comment below. Tell me if you've seen this movie. Tell me if you like this movie. Tell me if you hate this movie. Tell me if you've never heard of this movie. I don't know what else to say other than check out the playlist. 12 Days of Christmas Horror. Give my other videos a watch. I survived a Silent Night, Deadly Night series. And also thrown in there is my Black Christmas review, the original. Jack Frost 2. Rare Exports. I think that's it. No, Better Watch Out. Another good one. So in the end, I'll just say cheers and happy horror days.